Hello, I'm Andy Evans, and this is my lovely wife, Kim. We've been members here at Hope for nearly a decade. We came to Hope because we were seeking a place to have our daughter baptized and raise her in a community of faith. That was our plan. But reflecting on the past decade, God has had different plans for our family. That's usually how it works. Today, our daughter Aubrey is 10, and she has a 7-year-old sidekick, Cameron. We feel blessed because Hope is a home for them and they have experienced the love of Jesus Christ. Whether it's disciples in training, children's choir, service opportunities, or worship, they are growing to be loving followers of Christ. As parents, we are extremely thankful for the role the members of this community have played in raising our children with faith, hope, and love. So what does this have to do with our talk today? Kim and I have learned to trust that God will provide for our children. God will provide health, relationships, and more. It seems to be many of our prayers and desires as believers, and that's okay. God does provide security for children, healing for the sick, and strength for relationships. It doesn't always happen the way we see it playing out, but it happens. So does the same work with giving. About 8 or 9 years ago, we were reluctant to give because we didn't think we could afford it. We had young children, new jobs, bills, and not much of a plan B if our money were to run out. Growing up in our own faith, Kim and I both attended church, but neither of us had any idea about the role of giving or tithing in our spiritual walks. About that time, we began asking questions and looking into the Word for answers. What we found is God doesn't need our money, and tithing has nothing to do with our salvation. We found that we can trust God with His money. Think about it. We trust God for healing, relationships, jobs, and other concerns, but it seems like we can't afford to trust Him when facing the rise in healthcare costs, taxes, daycare, and other living expenses. For many of you, your incomes are fixed and uncertainty is always around the corner. Just remember, you have a community praying for you, and your troubles are nothing that God can't handle when you lay it down for Him.
Andy and I had to learn to trust God with His money, and it was a big leap of faith. Years later, we have found it to be one of the easiest and most rewarding parts of our faith walk. God has taught us to give more, and now our kids are learning those ways. It's heartwarming to watch them buy meat to make sandwiches for Salem or book bags for children at Old Orchard with their own money. They learned that from the awesome community of faith here at Hope. I would bet that other parents feel the same way. Consecration Sunday is November 6th. After worship, all will be invited to a wonderful luncheon at Larson Hall as we celebrate God's commitment to hope and His community. We ask that you pray about what God is calling you to give over the next year. We ask that you trust God with managing the finances He provides. As we have found, you will be surprised to see how He will bless you through this process. Thank you and God bless.